Hello, everybody. I'm Robert Franz, Artistic Director of the Boise Baroque Orchestra, and this is Ask Robert question number 17. When do musicians stand up to play, and when do they sit? Is there a preference performing music from the Baroque period to stand or sit? So the answer to the second part of the question is that it's not really related to whether it's Baroque or classical or Romantic or modern music or Renaissance music as to whether you sit or stand. It has to do with the physicality of playing the instrument. I think that one of the things that sometimes people aren't always super connected to is the physicality of playing the instrument. You know, we think of playing a musical instrument as a very emotional and a very intellectual exercise. I mean, there's that combination, that paradox of the two. But the third element to being a great musician is the physicality of it, how your body reacts to the instrument, what your body is doing. You want to get rid of as much tension as you possibly can in your body. So some musicians, many musicians, practice standing up. Often musicians prefer to stand up when they play because what it does is it aligns the spine, it raises up, it squares off the pelvis, it puts the head in the right position, and it gives you this sense of full motion and full freedom with your body as you're playing. Now, when musicians sit down to play, they have to, from the waist up, create that same sense of stability and focus and openness to get that sound. We have been experimenting at the Boise Baroque Orchestra this season with standing up and sitting down. Now, sometimes there are practical considerations. For instance, it would be silly for us to stand up through an opera, especially if there are singers that are standing up right behind us. Then everybody's going to be standing up, and you're not going to know who to look at and what to look at and what to listen for. The same is true when you have soloists playing with you, can be true when you have soloists playing with you, that it seems a little bit strange. Can work, but it's a little bit strange to have the soloist in the middle and everyone standing around them. When you create those different levels, it helps the sound and it helps for clarity. Not a rule, but just an idea. However, we have been experimenting with standing up on some of the pieces because it really has opened up the musicians to be able to play physically with more freedom. And the more that we can do that, the more freedom they develop, the more they move together and feel the music together physically, the better the music making will be at the Boise Baroque. And that's why we're experimenting with it. Also, there's a difference in the amount of sound. I do this all the time with students when I go to work with them in high schools, is I will do a little bit of Alexandra technique with them. I'll have them stand up in place and square their feet, square their pelvis, raise their spine, put their head comfortably on their spine, bring their instrument up to them, and then just play a note. And all of a sudden, the amount of sound doubles quite often from the amount of sound they had when they were sitting all scrunched down playing in their seat. And so the same thing to a much lesser degree happens with professional musicians sometimes. We get sort of settled and comfortable in our seat. And when we stand up, we're reminded, oh, this is how my body works. And this is the best position to put my instrument in so that I can make the most connected, warm, visceral, beautiful sound possible out of my body. It's a really interesting process making music. You have the emotional, the intellectual, and the physical. And those three things have to be in complete balance with each other, because if you get them out of balance, then the other two can't function. They can't take over for the one that's out of balance. So that's what we're doing, is we're exploring the physicality of our playing.